Like my mom said, once when she had me doing dishes about 10, 11 years old, I was doing dishes. Got that from my father. Aloysius doesn't do dishes. And so I did a half-assed job on it, thinking if I did a half-assed job, she'd never ask me to do it again. And she came in when I was almost done, and she looked at the dish rack there where I'd had them, and she saw the food on them and stuff, still, whatever. And she said to me, and she got angry, and she said, and she doesn't get angry. Only a couple times in my life has she ever been angry with me, so it meant something. She said, if you're gonna do something half-assed, you might as well not do it at all. And I was like, ah. And my mother wasn't one to use curse words either. She was pretty clean. Till my dad got a hold of her. But I took that through my life. I did stutter on it once in the Army when I was not a coffee drinker. I'd never been a coffee drinker. I do now, but that's because of Jim Force. But in the Army, never drank coffee and go into the work area, you know, daily basis, and all these guys drinking coffee. And the one day they said, Alderquist, you get to make the coffee today. I'd never had a cup of it. And so I went down, make the coffee, and I sat there and I said, you know what? See, I broke my little rule of thumb. There are rules. Sometimes you gotta fucking cut it, shoot through it. Don't bend it, break it. If they trust you long enough, that's something I learned too. They won't know whether you did it on purpose or not. And I made the shittiest pot of coffee I could ever come up with. I said, these people never ask me to make coffee again. I don't fucking drink coffee. Milk is for babies. Men drink beer. My Arnold impression. Yeah, do something half-assed. That came up because I was looking at my cigarette after I had started the show and it was only lit halfway. And I guess I'm gonna have to light it again. Or I can just share a parable, a moral, a parable with a moral and some virtue to its fabric. And know that just cutting one little thread and slipping through and fucking somebody over isn't gonna bring down the whole fucking organization. They never asked me to make coffee again. It worked. Victoria was out here and she brought up the thing about JFK Jr. supposedly gonna be driving through Dallas or something. I think it was Dallas. It only makes sense. And I said, and his father. See, that's the thing that I saw, was that JFK and his son, John Jr., who was in a Seinfeld episode, but then died shortly afterwards. Oh my God, Seinfeld's cursed. Or is it being a Kennedy? Hard to tell. Maybe you should have fucking hired a pilot with all the money you got, motherfucker. Or a better mechanic. So they're both dead, and they're supposed to be fucking cruising through Dallas, and you got these QAnon people that are out there by the hundreds, some hundreds, I don't know if that's a lot or not, The video I saw looked like Atlanta in the first season of The Walking Dead. These fucking people all over the streets just fucking looking around like waiting for something to happen. Hey, I don't know what the fuck. And there's just regular traffic going by, and they're like, and they look at a car, they're like, it turns them on, you know, shiny, flashing movement. And I thought it was something. I really could have seen myself if I were closer and I'd known the time was coming. I myself might have gone down there. I would have liked to have been there for John Fitzgerald Kennedy and his junior to come rolling through there. But the only thing is, I was hoping that they would just magically be alive with these holes in their heads and their burned up fucking corpses just riding down the road. Fucking, you know, if there's so much magic to be had, why wouldn't they look like they did and still be able to live, you know? They went through it. They're doing just fine. I wouldn't even fucking try and get that work done. That looks good in the bar when you're talking to chicks. Oh, that's, I forgot. Happens all the time, you know, this guy outside picking on his girlfriend, so I came up and I was fucking fighting him tooth and nail, and his girlfriend pulled a gun and shot me in the head. You stay out of domestic abuse. But yeah, just act like it happens all the time. If it's not going to heal, I'd leave it that way. And you're looking good in court. Every time you kill 10 people a year, sitting there going, yeah, look what he did to me. The judge, well, man, it looks pretty bad from here. You want to touch it? No, I believe you. I ain't no doubting Thomas. So then she mentions that the funny thing is, we were talking earlier, and I was talking about a video I did yesterday, and I was saying about, you know, it's almost like the Illuminati is doing this. Like they fucking got us really going on both sides, and they're fucking pushing us down a path. And so that was just something that was said even before we were talking. Then she comes up with this thing that she's talking about. How she saw Kimmel call them, these people that are out there for the QAnon, he called them the illiterati. And I thought, that is fucking amazing. It made me laugh. It's very good. What an interesting coincidence that all this is just somebody trying to drive us all fucking maniacal imbeciles, just don't know what's left from right, looking for a fucking dead man walking. Oh, here comes Sean Penn and Susan Sarandon. I know he screwed her behind the scenes. How could you not? All dressed up like a nun after mule for Sister Sarah and shit like that. Yeah. Everybody in town, Clint Eastwood and I. It's just something that might be. I've never heard any stories about this at all. It's not even alleged. It's just one of the jokes that I make that somehow turn out to be true, and you go, and they say, how'd you know that? And I say, I don't know, fucking, I've got a gift. And so then what I said, they were talking about him, and we talked about it, you know. It's sad and funny. It's sad and funny. The people in QAnon that show up to see a couple of dead people fucking rolling through in a convertible in a fucking Cessna. That would have been a good way too. JFK. I keep dying, but I'll be back. Crash into the crowd of people, flames everywhere. Oh, remember the Alamo. Remember Alan Mose. But some of these people really just, they needed company. They wanted to be around other people. And what she'd said was that these are, she mentioned something she saw, that the sad part is these aren't even really the QAnon people. They're like a derivative, like a new group people that were drawn to them, to the QAnon, by what happened leading up to and involving January 6th. And I said, so they're the neo-Q. And then, you know, neo-Nazi, neo means new. Neo-Nazi, new Nazis, you know, they're a resurgence of them, and just it keeps coming back, and new, however it works. These are the new Qs, they are the neo-Q. And it seems so short that way, and it, even though it's too short, it sounds junky. I think maybe neo-QAnon, and it's like, it's already been used up, and it is also junky. If they could get with all the skinheads, they could start something that would be sure to win. They couldn't fail here. They would be the neo-QAnazis.